guys? How's everyone doing? Back for another Gimme 10, 1978. Getting to the end here, but I got some good stuff for 78, so let's just get right up into it. Hope everyone's doing well. Excuse me. First up, Lloyd McNeil, Tori. This is a really nice spiritual jazz with some Latin tinges, I would say. Nice spiritual piece with Latin, especially Latin percussion. Yeah, if you're not familiar, Lloyd McNeil plays flute on this. You have Buster Williams on bass, Dom Salvador piano, Victor Lewis on drums, Howard Johnson on tuba, Dom Romeo on percussion, as well as Nana Vasconcelos on percussion and vocals as well. And two guitar players, John LaBarbera and Amari Tristeo, acoustic guitar. Great album though. Definitely recommend it. Not too free, not too out there. Just said more spiritual. Great stuff. One that's a bit more free and out there, but fantastic album. Love this one. Very underrated in my opinion. So this is the Louis Mahalo Octet with Spirit to Rejoice. Take it out of the sleeve, probably a glare. Yeah, one of my favorite Louis Mahalo albums, South African jazz albums. So if you're not familiar, Louis Mahalo is a drummer. Originally he was in the Blue Notes, the whole British / South African scene. Moved over to Britain afterwards. Fantastic sort of right here, free jazz, avant-garde jazz, kind of like South African jazz. That whole style meets the British free jazz scene. Spiritual at times, free at times, really great. Fantastic players. So Louis Mahalo on drums, like I said, Evan Parker on sax, Kenny Wheeler on trumpet, Nick Evans on trombone, Radu Malfatti on trombone as well, Keith Tippett on piano, Johnny Diani on bass, and Harry Miller on bass. I think the standout track might be You Ain't Gonna Know Me Cause You Think You Know Me. Pretty well known. But great, fantastic version of it. Highly recommend this album. This is on Ogun. I think I showed the label already, but on the Ogun label. If you can find this, definitely pick it up. I was lucky enough to come across a really cheap copy. I don't think the guy knew what he had, but still, highly recommend that one. Next up here, moving on to some rock. I guess one of the last bands of the Canterbury jazz rock scene. This is the National Health, with National Health self-titled. Like I said, jazz rock, Canterbury, on the Affinity label. Great stuff. Dave Stewart, Phil Miller, Neil Murray, and Pit Pyle, joined with a bunch of guests. John Mitchell, Alan Goen, Amanda Parsons, Jimmy Hastings. I think that might be it, but if that's your scene, definitely worth checking out. National Health, Prague, Canterbury. Next up, moving back to the US, we have Michael Mantler with Movies. So he is joined by Larry Coryell on guitar, Carla Bley keys and sax, I believe, Steve Swallow, bass, Tony Williams on drums, and Michael Mantler plays trumpet, but on his own Watt label. This is kind of described more as a contemporary traditional jazz, although kind of not really, in my opinion. It's more fusion, fusion jazz rock at times. Definitely taking some chances, a bit more adventurous, not really too straight ahead. Really cool, pretty cheap album. Can be found for not really expensive at all. And there's definitely some clips online. Definitely recommend checking this one out. I think Chris Cole actually sent me this one, so thank you. Thank you, brother. Next two here are were huge wants of mine. Really happy to have all of this guy's material. A master of the West Coast spiritual jazz, free jazz. Horace Tapscott. So this first one here is Flight 17. Horace Tapscott conducts the African People's Orchestra. I think it's the full name. Gatefold. But yeah, like I said, free, spiritual, fantastic playing. Flight 17. Both of these albums both came out in the same year, which was pretty cool. And then on, I think this one came out actually, what label? Was it on Nimbus? I don't think this one was on, yep, this one was on Nimbus. And the other one on Nimbus was The Call, Horace Tapscott and the Pan-African People's Orchestra. So on here, it's kind of previous one, you have Linda Hill, Del Sebastian, Everett Brown Jr., trying to name some of the more well-known players, but really fantastic stuff. I'll show the label. Like I said, one of the masters of West Coast spiritual jazz. Highly, highly recommend any of this guy's stuff. Still looking for The Giant Is Awakened. If anyone has that, I'd be happy to trade or buy it off you, because it's basically my #1 want. This one was actually VCLT from my man Greg, so thank you for that, buddy, if you're watching. This is Solstice with Mirage. Really good. It's basically jazz rock fusion from Canada. Canadian jazz rock fusion stuff. I believe this one isn't too expensive either. I forgot how good this was. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I went back to it. Really enjoyed it. There's the players right there. I really wasn't familiar with any of them before getting this one from Greg, but thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Definitely one that I go back to from time to time and check out. So I think this year is definitely going to have a few more rock pieces as opposed to my previous years. Although I think the rest of these are actually jazz. So moving on to some German jazz. This is the Friedman Graf Group with Daily New Paradox. I always get the name messed up. Friedman Graf Group. So this one definitely isn't going to be for everyone. It's free jazz, a bit more out there though than your standard free jazz. Not really sure how to describe it completely, other than saying you just go check it out, go listen to it. Like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. There's the players on the back, but on the FMP label, I enjoy it though. Not something I would listen to every day, all the time, but definitely nice to throw on every once in a while. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my voice. Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water. Weather's starting to become colder, so hope I didn't get sick. I'm done with something. Next up here, Marion Brown and Gunther Hampel, Reeds and Vibes. Exactly what the name states. Marion Brown plays sax, alto sax, flute, and percussion, and Gunther Hampel plays vibes, flute, and percussion as well. 6 tracks, 5 tracks. I believe all of them are their own personal recordings, so no covers on the Improvising Artist label, Paul Blaze label, I believe. But yeah, really nice later recording from Marion Brown. Definitely on the freer side, but really good stuff. Can't really ever go wrong with Marion Brown, in my opinion, though. And for the last one here, I believe this is the last one, yeah. And I'll show one more just as a, but I didn't make it. So, Anthony Brown, this is called 4/4 Orchestras. This one is actually VCLT as well, sent to me by my buddy Rodney, so thank you, Rodney, if you happen to see this. This one is definitely challenging. 3 LPs, it's a box set, you know. But the whole thing behind this was that basically, I don't know if you guys know Marion Brown more about how he plays, how he does his live shows, but he's really particular about basically where he puts, where the audience sits, where everything's set up. Basically, this one was made to be, it was written for a 160-piece orchestra, excuse me, and all had to do with sound trajectory and sound directions, kind of. Basically, it depended where you were sitting in the audience. The orchestras were placed on the corners of the room, and the audience was basically sitting in the middle and on the sides. And where you sat in the audience depended on what part of the music you heard. It was really interesting concept, I thought. Yeah, Anthony Braxton's really known for doing stuff like that, playing with sounds and sound direction. So I'm sure it was one of those things where you had to be there, to get the full effect. Because I'm sure it doesn't do it justice on the recording. Even though it's a good recording, the music's good. Still, 160-person orchestra. Yeah, just can't even imagine what it would be like to be there. But you kind of see a picture on the back there. You get a bit of an idea. But I would love to see something like that live. Yeah, Anthony Braxton for 4 orchestras. He was always doing crazy stuff like that. So really cool. Really cool concept. And the last one here, which probably could have been in the top 10, but unfortunately it's my least favorite from this guy. Pharoah Sanders, Love Will Find a Way. Probably my least favorite Pharoah record. It's not really saying much because all of his stuff is fantastic, but yeah. White Label promo on Arista. Norman Connors, basically all over this album, produced by Norman Connors. This was during that time when he was with Norman Connors a lot. Bunch of different players on here too. No one that he really, I think, played with previously, although I could be wrong about that. But yeah, Pharoah Sanders, Love Will Find a Way. Like I said, not my favorite from him. Probably my least favorite, but still, it's Pharoah. So I had to show it. So that's it. Not really going to show any ones that didn't make the list. Rejects time around. Let's leave it at that. Maybe I'll do another video with the rejects. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone's doing well. Excited to watch everyone else's responses. And I'll talk to you guys soon. We'll be back with another update. Peace.